Um, did you see the news report today about the
Okay, we're live.
Did it ever stop us before?
No.
47 bags of kittens? That's all I'm saying.
Well, to start with today, before this goes totally off the rails,
Too late.
uh, found something rather interesting on Reuters yesterday. China has dumped HSBC Bank.
I mean, they've kicked them out of the country, or
They have made them persona non grata. No Chinese corporation is allowed to use them for banking services.
is HSBC was there? Were they Hong Kong based?
Hong Kong Shanghai Bank Corporation.
Oh, that's fixing to pause up.
Well over $1 trillion investment in China and Hong Kong and various other places.
They're going to force the bank under. I wonder what the strategy is.
Well, they want to get out from under all the loans that they've currently got with them.
Oh.
But HSBC has got enough money spread around other places.
They're not going to go under.
They're not going to go under.
Even if they did, the loans would get bought by other banks.
Yes.
Which I guess would allow China to renegotiate the terms of those loans.
Yeah.
Generally, I don't think you get to renegotiate once they buy.
They would try it.
They will, yeah, these are big enough entities that they can break their own rules, I guess.
Speaking of China, have you seen the latest updates on Three Gorges?
Yeah.
Is it failing?
There's been an earthquake in the area, and apparently biblical levels of flood, a 500-year flood year.
Yeah.
Was there a mushroom cloud associated with the earthquake?
No.
There wasn't? Shoot.
Well, has Taiwan gone under yet? Because as soon as Taiwan goes under a yellow wave, there will be a can of sunshine open at Three Gorges.
Actually, no, they won't. They can't nationalize the bank, Cedar, because it was incorporated basically in England. So
Well, yeah, it's one of the because
Yeah.
they were created when Hong Kong was still in
Yeah.
English, yeah.
so it's actually a European.
Something the board of directors have hit their knees and thank
Yeah.
God for here recently.
Yeah, John says, I'm waiting for all the other places that owe China to nationalize their debts. Yeah,
Well, that's the thing of it, though.
Jerry, they won't default. China might default on what they're owing, but HSBC won't go under.
That's the thing of it is I got to digging through into a deep dive into international finances. China has almost as much debt over here as we have over there.
Yeah.
Good.
It's I always thought that China called in our debt, we were screwed. No, we hold almost as much of China's debt as they hold of ours.
It'll be self-simulation.
Yeah, it'll be wow.
Cedar, from what research I was able to do yesterday, they've already gotten most of their assets out of the country because when Hong Kong fell, they were already withdrawing assets and everything else.
Didn't fall.
Well,
They
took it over.
traded. Yeah.
Well, it's not
So-
like nobody saw it coming. It was
Yeah.
it was written. It was it was 100 years in the making.
Yeah.
We the contract was there.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when China took back Hong Kong, they said for the next 100 years, we will run it this way.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't
And everybody with any smarts went, ha ha.
Yeah, that didn't last 20.
No.
And I find it weird because China is a master of the long game. So
Yeah, but when
I fully expected them to do the 100 years.
well, the long game only counts when it matters. The little stuff they don't care. It's like I fully expected them to pull a long game on Tibet.
Yeah.
And they went, nah, and just moved in. That's it's not exactly Chinese of them.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah, did you see the?
Well, yeah.
Did you see the report on GNN about the 100th anniversary of the Chinese government?
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, they
CNN's the only one that ran it.
yeah, ZNN. Xi Jinping, and it was glowing And,
was it?
and all I could think of was this really isn't the 100th anniversary. This is 100 millionth.
Yeah.
And, because that's how many people they've killed in the last century. So
Yeah, Ray says the British honored their treaty, unlike the Chinese.
I weren't going to these Chinese.
RK says Jinping says China will become the dominant world power within 30 years. We shall see.
I love that when people set themselves up. We will be the world power.
The problem
forget
is
to ask the gods.
Yeah.
Their population won't support that.
No,
Because
they're in a negative population growth and have been for over 20
they're
years.
stealing women from surrounding countries because they've gone 50, 60 years now with only boy children.
Well, that's one of the things with the Uyghur camps is they're taking all the good-looking women out of them, and most of the rest of them too.
Yeah. There's
The
a
other
flow
thing,
down and looks
Oh
with
yes.
the party.
Well,
Yeah.
that's history.
Was it after what I heard about the Air Force's new PT requirements?
yeah,
China could be the world dominant forces here.
What in
Yeah.
your PT reforms?
So the Air Force has changed their PT requirements. You no longer have to do push-ups. You can elect to do a plank position. You don't have to run. You can do a walk or something else. And you can opt out of the sit-ups for the plank position as well.
What the actual fuck?
I don't know.
I heard
Don't
it on,
look at me.
I heard it on Fox as I was going to get to the store today, and I had to laugh.
I've been retired for 29 years. I don't know.
So the whole idea behind having a military force is hopefully your guys are way more fit than the other guys.
Yeah.
The entire intent behind a military force is to find somebody else, kill their people, and break their things.
Right.
Yeah.
That does kind of imply that you are more fit than they are.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yes.
they're going to roll all over
Yes, and I realize that there's a whole bunch of motorized crap in the Air Force, but bombs have to get on planes somehow.
Yeah.
And when hydraulics go, whoof,
Yeah.
and no worky, you pick up the bomb, you put it on
Oh,
the
no,
airplane.
no. The Air Force is not allowed to do that.
What?
The Air Force is not allowed to use hernia bars to load weapons. They have to use mechanical.
What?
Yes, mechanical equipment. They're not allowed to use hernia bars. They never have been allowed to use hernia bars since Vietnam.
I joined the wrong friggin' service.
I know. They apparently, if so long as we're way better at Atari than they are,
Yeah.
we're good to go.
Do you know how many thrown tracks I had to change?
Oh, I know. I've literally had had to have three guys manhandle a helicopter blade.
Yeah.
And for a Black Hawk, which is no small task.
The jury says the Air Force does rifle calls with a 22. That I was not aware of.
Well, technically, we all use a version of
Yeah.
a 22.
Are you talking 22 rimfire or 22 center fire?
I think it's a 22 rimfire. When I qualified, you qualified with a M1 Grand.
Don't let him fool you, folks. They qualified with ballistas.
Yeah.
When he was in.
And RK says the Air Force didn't even require small arms training. Our qualification is 2003. That's a good point. A friend of mine was in the 70s, and she was a nurse and wanted to be allowed to qualify,
So she could carry a weapon.
and was told she could not qualify because she was in the wrong MOS.
Well,
The only people allowed to qualify back then were security forces.
The Air Force is the reason we're using the 5.56.
Yeah.
They're the ones that were like, no.
wrong MOS, I can see there are treaties and accords that make it kind of sticky for medical personnel to carry weapons.
Yeah, it also makes it kind of sticky when you shoot at medical personnel, but
That's
they
a
did
good
that
point.
too.
That's a good point.
Koala says, I cheated in basic. I ended up in a band flight. Okay.
Band flight?
Yeah.
What the hell's a band flight?
I don't
know.
I guess.
Okay.
There's okay.
Flight. To me, a flight is 5 small things of beer on a wooden plank.
Yeah. Oh, Jerry, quick clarified. 22 rimfire at 25 yards to qualify.
I'm sorry, was it a handgun they were qualifying with?
No, rifle. We had to qualify to shoot expert. We had to shoot a 45 at 50 yards.
Oh, with a brown vest, that was hard.
I'm sorry, that one caught me off guard. Remember the qual range at Jackson?
Yes.
It went out to 300 or 500.
500.
And
You had green flop up targets up to 300.
yeah, and they were timed, and you had the only thing
You
that
had to
helped
do it from foxhole supported and prone unsupported.
yes.
Yeah, and Cedar is laughing at your expressions, and so is everybody else.
That's why
Now that
I'm
they can see them.
now that's why I'm never on camera.
But it's worth it.
The funny bit was I figured it out.
Oh, Koala played this.
I was always shooting a little low at the 500, but I was just close enough that I was skipping it in hard
Yep,
enough to
yep,
knock
yep.
them over.
Yep.
I love that.
Well, we had the drill sergeants at Jackson demonstrate to us that if you hit close, the spatter from the dirt would knock target down.
Yeah.
Which is what you want. I mean, anyways, as long as you're close enough to make him duck his head, you suppressed.
Koala says, I played the cymbals. Cedar says cymbals are a combat instrument.
No, you're thinking bagpipes, sweetheart.
Yeah, Koala says,
Now, the
I went to
tri-
security forces after that, so I made up for it.
now the triangle, that's a special operations weapon right there.
Ting, ting, ting.
Hey, Jonna, yep, we're waiting on you.
Jonna, what? She's not in the area yet?
She must be sitting at the airport.
Okay.
Speaking of weapons,
Oh, here we go.
San Jose City Council passed a law yesterday in San Jose
Oh, God.
that states that you have to register your weapons and pay a fee per weapon.
And of course they did.
However, how do they know who has weapons?
4473s.
And what's the enforcement going to be?
Well, they're not allowed to touch 4473s. That's a federal form.
Right,
Locals,
yes.
locals can't grab it.
No, they can't.
So,
But they're gonna. That's what they're thinking.
what I'm wondering is if there are going to be Karens out the window going,
Yeah, 1-800-SNITCH.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I just saw this car pull out. He put 3 gun cases in the trunk.
1-800-SNITCH them out.
See something, say something.
Yeah. Or the cops will be sent on a routine basis to gun ranges.
Oh, they won't use the cops because they defunded them.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Let
I'm
me see
sorry.
your paperwork.
I'm sorry. The Dems are defunding the cops. The Republicans are. Yes, and they're actually saying that.
No.
They're saying, well, actions speak louder than words. Well, the actions show that you defunded police in major cities. No, that was the Republicans.
Okay. Minneapolis.
I really want to take his blood pressure right now, folks. I really.
Minneapolis. Apparently, some politician got held up by a protest for multiple hours.
Yeah.
Good.
Until said
Oh, yeah, it gets better.
until said politician verbally and in written form acceded to a list of demands,
Okay.
all of which was videotaped for posterity so that she couldn't change her mind. Now, as a 26-year veteran, I see an absolutely wonderfully videotaped confession.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So does Minneapolis not have unlawful restraint laws?
If they do, they're not enforcing them.
But they can't enforce them if they don't have the cops to do it.
The state police has not been defunded. I don't, to the best of my knowledge, I guess Minnesota has frickin' counties, in which case the county sheriff hadn't been defunded yet. And if nothing else, the Phoebes have not been, unfortunately, defunded.
No. Sheriff departments have been defunded because of this too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the state police haven't.
Yeah.
So why did not somebody hit their knees, thank the gods for what they've just received, write a boilerplate probable cause and start issuing arrest warrants?
That's a good question.
No. Don't know.
And it's Minnesota.
The state
It's a Democrat-run
the,
state,
the
a
state police could have been
Democrat-run
defunded too.
city. Everything is Democrat-run up there.
If the Democrats can get their panties in a half hitch over mobs doing stupid things to politicians and spend, what is it, 6 months now?
Yeah.
Chasing down idiots.
Actually, a year.
No,
No, January 6th. Yeah.
Chasing down idiots in buffalo headdresses. But they can't spare 30 seconds to review a Twitter video,
No.
write a boilerplate probable cause affidavit I could do with half my brain tied behind my back and asleep.
No.
It's about 170 over 90, I think, right now. No,
The other funny part is, last night apparently in Seattle, one of the black candidates for mayor almost got shot by crooks who were stealing a catalytic converter out of a car, and he went out to try to get their license plate, and they shot at him.
Well, that's what happens.
Catalytic converter. Wow.
And he was decrying. Oh well, the law delivery should be better in Seattle. It's the fault of the police.
What he meant to say was the police that I've left funded should have protected me better because I'm the one.
Yeah. And there's been a whole thing going on over here. Different ways to carry them: golf clubs, bags, fly rod cases, ski, guitar cases. Guitar cases are only for
submachine guns. Thompson's
submachine guns. Actually, it's violent cases.
You can't use violent case. You have to use a Viola because it's bigger.
Thank you for that bit of trivia.
Sorry.
Actually, Thompson made a Viola case.
They did.
Yeah.
And there's guys that make them now too. You can get them on Etsy. See, I grew up in Rochester, Minnesota, and the weird thing about Rochester is it's engineers for IBM and doctors.
Yeah.
Traditionally, basically conservative, right? And they gerrymandered the shit out of that area so that it was still democratically controlled.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, Sanford's here, so the question is, between Cedar and Sanford, there is news? Question mark.
What?
I don't know. That's what Cedar said. There is news.
She was up here Tuesday for a thingy.
She sat right over there.
Yeah, no, but she didn't come up here just for the podcast. And I don't want to say what she came up here for in case she hasn't told anybody.
Oh, Cedar got the job, $36 an hour.
Yes, that's what I was trying to hint at.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Our case says, sorry, a sousaphone case.
That's another thing.
Oh,
so what?
New York City.
Okay.
By
the way, supposedly some of the best barbecue in the country because that's what the magazines say.
Yeah, horseshit. 135,000 fake ballots cast by accident.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the candidates had an issue with this. He looked at the results a lot like a previous election, not New York City style. One of the mayoral candidates had an issue with it and got ripped apart. Oh, that's some Trumpian thinking. Oh, you Trumpist. Oh, look, he's a maggot. It was a Democratic mayoral candidate. You're a maggot. Oh, whatever.
Who happened to be black.
Turns out he was right.
Yep.
The voting software stuck 135,000 extra votes in there.
Test votes.
Yes. Did any of those scum-sucking Siberian snow pimps offer to apologize for dragging his name through the mud? No.
Nope. And they didn't change. Well, remember the software company that wrote the software for the electronic ballot machines turned out to be a major Democratic donor.
Yeah. Jesse says, quote, test, not fake.
I don't care. They were incorrect.
They got counted in the total
ballot. Yes, they did.
Which made them suddenly not test.
Against the lead candidate, i.e., the African-American former cop who said something's wrong and got ripped apart in the media.
Yeah. Right. Who is the only law and order candidate other than Curtis Sliwa.
I told you
the founder of the Guardian Angels.
Yeah, he's gonna go to cornbread hell.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was Eric Adams, Sarah. You're exactly right.
I told you we saw our last fair election decades ago.
Yeah.
And we're never going to see another fair one again. And I guarantee you, we will never see the Democrats out of power because of that. Okay.
Jerry says Ian Cam is priceless.
But yeah,
Remind me to lean left when I start getting annoyed.
I don't think you can lean left.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no, you're still pretty conservative.
Oh, okay.
RK says, well, when the Democratic law and order type turns up, of course the left is going to get their panties in a twist, which they have done, yes.
I just the whole what's killing me most is the blatant propaganda.
Oh, yeah.
We are
no
the Dems on the left are lying the same level that the Soviet Union in the 60s and 70s and China
And
had
Cuba.
from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, it's just this,
And
Oh, yeah.
You know,
it's just
the
so
thing about it,
blatantly opposite of what's going on that you can't.
the thing about it is when they were lying, they were a little bit ashamed of it.
Yeah.
They kept
I don't
making,
think so.
they kept making excuses. You don't make excuses for lying if you're not just a little bit ashamed of it. These numpties
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
quite proud about it.
Yeah, they're so blatant about it. That,
Oh,
It's for the greater good.
right.
Or
ooh, ooh.
it's noble lies. Oh
What?
damn.
Oh, SCOTUS ruling prevents ballot harvesting in Arizona. That just flashed across the screen.
Ouch.
Yeah. Thank you, RK. We try to dress to impress.
Are they going
She
to?
likes our shirts. Josh wants to know, why the hell are you drinking Mountain Dew?
Because it's got caffeine in it.
He has obviously not had enough caffeine this morning.
This is the most caffeine I can find outside of a Jolt Cola, which I can't drink anymore.
Can you still find Jolt Cola?
Yes, Atwoods.
Oh, that's right. They have the good toys too.
Yes, they do.
The old snap cap.
Pistol,
yeah.
shotguns.
Speaking of drinks, we found you RC Cola down here, Sanford.
22 minutes.
For what?
We're talking about food.
Oh. Point.
Josh wants to know what's your what's your opinion of the bullpup bolt actions?
Dumb.
Whoa. Okay. Hang on. Hang on.
Oh, Jim just had a
Oh, this is-
aneurysm.
Yeah. This is. Oh, there's blood. Is there blood coming on my nose yet? A bullpup bolt action.
Yeah.
So you've taken the chamber,
Put it under your cheek.
put it on your cheek. So the
Uh-huh.
bolt starts basically
Yeah.
under your ear
Yeah.
and has to go back.
It has to go back past the back of your head. Yes.
And
Dumb.
so, okay, okay, let's take a look at this historically. The SMLE, arguably
Oh,
the
God.
best bolt action ergonomics,
Okay.
Because-
Yeah, okay.
because you can do a Mad Minute with an SMLE better than just about any other
Well,
rifle, right?
Yes.
And it's perfect because when you operate the bolt, your hand is right back on the trigger,
Yeah.
right? This is the SMLE. And somebody thought a bullpup would be better because now I can contort my arm behind my head
Yeah.
in such a way that I can operate the bolt. But I remoted the trigger
Yeah.
to 12 inches in front of where it used
Yeah.
to be.
Actually, I've seen a bolt that with an extension, so the bolt's in the normal place.
Yeah.
It's just got a 12-inch extension back to the bolt handle has a 12-inch extension back to the bolt.
Which makes absolutely no sense
No, it's
because that's one more mechanical failure mode.
right. You've got this long piece of steel, and if anybody who's had to replace their charging handle on their Garand knows that this is a failure point.
Oh
Yeah.
Right? It flexes.
Yeah.
Operating a bolt like that is going to flex. You're going to have trouble.
If you're not slamming the bolt
Yeah.
home, back and home, you're not working a bolt action rifle properly.
Yay, I think Sarah Singleton is back in the States. She says, I'm here, kind of, very much jet lag.
So no,
Yeah.
remember the Barrett M99? I think it was the M99 with the bolt action 50 caliber bullpup.
No, the
No.
99 was just a bolt action 50 cal.
They had a bolt action bullpup 50 cal. I forget. which
Barrett?
one.
I don't think they've
No.
ever had. No,
Yep.
No,
not Barrett.
they're smarter than that.
He's a redneck.
Well, I got to admit, when I asked him why he put a suppressor on the 50 cal, he looked at me and smiled and said, because I can.
Uh-huh. Because he's a redneck.
Ooh. Somebody should design a subsonic 50 cal for the suppressed Barrett.
There is one. Oh, okay.
A subsonic 50 cal.
That's not
That's
That's
not a
not-
bolt pump.
that's not a bolt.
That's
That's
not
not
a
a bolt action.
Nope. Nope, sure isn't.
There's a guy that does do a bolt pump 50. It's not Barrett though.
No.
And he's,
XM 500. It wasn't a bolt action. It was
Yeah.
a bolt pump, but it was a semi-auto.
yeah, but the guy that does that is just as crazy as Barrett is, so it doesn't matter.
M82A2s, yes, very nice gun.
There's somebody we know's got one.
Yeah.
I'm neither confirming or denying the existence of any weapons in my collection.
Oh, I was there when you had that nasty canoe accident. Went to the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
My God, I saw my life flash before my eyes.
Granted, the lake is 4 feet deep, but
Well, it's 1 foot deep now that everybody else has dumped their guns there.
Ray goes 50 caliber spotting round for the 105 recoilless. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. It's weird though. They'll do a coaxial,
Yeah.
and the round is specific for the round in the cannon.
the small, the bunker buster Marines had
Yeah.
had a 9mm tracer spotter
Yeah,
that was correlated exactly with the trajectory of the round.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
it's just, I think that's cool that
Oh,
because then you can use it to walk your.
It's exactly what it's there for.
yeah.
And Sanford goes, I prefer a lower model number, like 2.
That's because he was passing the brown best to Jim back during qualification.
The folks, you got to remember that we're not governments and we have to pay to feed these things.
Oh,
Yeah.
no kidding,
So
right?
if getting the lower model numbers really sucks the pocket dry.
Yeah.
it
Yeah, and you need an ammo monkey. RK says, I love the Madus, but really, really love the Mark 19. Yeah, there is that.
No, the Mark 19 is not all that in a bag of chips. I've never run one through a cassette, and it's called cassette, without the damn thing jamming.
Yeah.
It jams if you look at it cross-eyed.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's a Mark. Oh, crap, it's jammed again.
Yeah. Well, I still think it's hilarious that one Madus that came out of the sandbox that the Army turned in.
Had a 3-digit serial number starting with a 1.
Yeah, one of
That
the
would make it-
originals.
Yeah, that would make it an original.
Yeah.
One of the first 200 to come off the assembly line.
And
Wow.
they wanted it back, and the Army went, no.
Yeah.
Museum, we want it back. No,
Apparently
you get a
they-
brand new one.
they
We
had
want the old one.
They
Well,
had
the
a
funny thing
300
is
series
they've
that
done-
some depot monkey fucked up.
Yeah, 343.
the funny thing is for how many years has the Army had this 3-digit serial number Modus issued out to a unit
Mhm.
and not thought, but the second somebody said, oh, hey, wait a second here. This
Well-
is 3 digits. And they're like, oh my God, you're right.
Well,
Yeah.
what it was it was unit level maintenance the
Yeah.
entire time.
Yeah.
And finally, somebody said that they were upgrading something. I think
Yeah.
they're upgrading the barrel so they don't have to do the headspace and timing anymore.
Yeah.
So they said a depot. And depot, apparently, the depot monkey went, what's your number? Guy said,
Yeah.
18183. That's not correct. No, it's 183. You're missing. Holy crap, it's 183. And a warrant officer went, give me that.
Yeah. Ray says 50 caliber quad mount Mark 19s would be cool. Now the cool thing was 50 caliber quad mounts on gun trucks in Vietnam, which were M153s up armored with 4 Maduses hanging off the back of them.
Well,
If I'm a quad or something, it's going to be
the
a
story
20.
behind those is fascinating.
It actually goes back to Korea.
The whole convoy thing in Vietnam, and by this point the Army got rid of all their half tracks with quad 50s on it and anything else
Yeah.
that was armored and armed, and now these convoy guys are running basically civilian diesel trucks that have been painted funny, and they're like, well, wait a second, who's helping us?
Yeah.
and one of the guys said, hey, if you go over to this corner, there's a bunch of 50s that nobody's looking at, and he stole them.
And a bunch of E4s had a good idea.
Yeah, and they mounted. They mounted more of them on a single truck than they should have because they were shaking these things apart.
Yeah.
But
RK says, never had an issue with ours. I fired expert with it. scared the MP kiddos big time when the MI officer was better at it than them.
Well, you
Why
can
am I not
you can
surprised?
watch that baseball fly out there and land. And it's really easy
Yeah.
to walk them in.
Why am I not surprised that she would have done that?
Not. Mark 19 is a good idea.
Yeah.
I like being able to deliver 5 meters of hate.
Yeah.
900 meters away. It's a really good idea.
Yeah, there's somebody who said for the bullet with a name on it versus the hey, fuck you and everybody around you.
Yeah. To whom it may concern. Dum, 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 dum.
Well, we're pretty good with that with the Navy.
Well, Iowa. Oh shit.
Yeah, no.
Screw that zip code.
Yeah, that's the name is more screw that zip code than fuck you and everybody around you.
No, it was
Fuck you, everybody around you, and here's a grave we're gonna dig for you at the same time.
it was 100-yard CEP at 25 miles with a blast radius of I want to say 3,000 yards.
And, yeah,
I'm sorry. Fuck your county.
yeah. I just use the phone count.
And you just bring out a bulldozer. You scrape the greasy bits into the big hole left behind. You fill
Yeah.
in the hole. It's all.
Nobody knows.
Richard says at amateur radio field day, yeah, 1-by-1 call signs mess with people because you're expecting longer. Yeah, yeah. The good friend of ours out of Colorado was on the Iowa radio team for many years, USS Iowa, and they would screw with people during radio day because they would come up with a call sign USS Iowa, and all hams would go, huh? What? Ooh.
Did they
Say that again?
Did they issue QSL cards?
Yes.
Okay, good, because my dad was a ham radio operator for years and years and years,
Yeah.
and he had a wall of QSL cards.
What the hell is a QSL?
QSL card is a card you send somebody that you made contact with over ham radio. So he had a couple from Skylab because they did a couple of times. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he had a Navy one. I'm not 100% sure, but he had, Russia, Europe, South America. I mean, these are guys. You're bouncing the radio signal off the ionosphere on the Earth to get there, kind of deal.
Well, a lot of the Navy ships back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, a lot of the RMs on them were hams. So they would be sitting out there bored in the middle of the Pacific or Atlantic on watch.
Not bored and listening.
And they would be cranking through.
Well, it's because
answer somebody halfway around the world.
The Navy guys, they had to meet the code standards.
Yeah.
And the code standards were basically the same as the general or an expert on a ham radio. So it was really easy. To sit there, take the same test score. You fill out your card, you send it to the FCC, and they send you back a
expert. Yeah.
But I had a sergeant major way back when he was a couple of bourbons in, would opine that when the Iowa called shot fired, that you might want to unask the AO. Apparently, he got a surprise covering fire from the Iowa one time, and it left an impression on the lad.
Yeah.
Must have been Korea.
Yeah, a friend of mine got that going.
This is in the 80s. He was command sergeant major in the 80s. So
going up in Lebanon.
Oh God, the Bekaa Valley.
With Bekaa Valley with an A-7 flight. Bombing.
Covering fire from the Iowa. Woohoo!
Yeah, they were actually firing over the tops of the airplanes and taking out anti-aircraft.
That's when your time on target gets very precise.
Back during the philosophy of the big sky, little bullet. Because the Marine Corps used to fly in underneath the barrage.
Oh, yeah.
Because of that. And
the big sky, little bullet.
And every now and again, an airplane just wouldn't come back and nobody would know why.
If you're low enough, it's going over the top of you.
Right. Every now and again, an airplane wouldn't come back and they wouldn't know why.
99.9% of the time.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's at your altitude, the bullet's going to come up through your altitude and then down through the altitude again, which is just your time on target needs to be very, 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 very precise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richard said most astronauts are hams now too. Josh says, back scratch.
They
Exactly.
They ever since they got rid of the code requirement. I don't know, because I mean, the fastest I ever got a code was like 7 words per minute. I sucked at it. And that was when I was a kid.
And now we've got people going back and forth in code.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, well, you get a program now that does a code generator for you, so you don't even have to know.
You're talking about Morse code, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I found one of those.
We have an interesting group of people that listen to this.
Interesting is a good word. It's very diplomatic, Jim. I'm impressed.
Yeah, well, it was better than what I was thinking, but
I once saw the tree.
for fuck's sake. Founder of 1619 Project granted tenure at UNC.
North Carolina
Yes.
or Northern California?
UNC's University of North Carolina.
Okay.
The Raptor goes, yeah, the Iowa class, lowering beachfront property value since 1943. Yep.
Well, and sometimes they do improve beachfront property values because terrorists just dropped the property value. They would not believe how bad.
Ray says, well, we're all on watch list. Yeah, that's pretty much true.
I am proud of my watch list.
Speaking of terrorist watch list, guess who are terrorist groups? According to
Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Tlaib, was it Tlaib?
Yeah.
Who
What's her name?
she said she equated the US and Israel to terrorist groups.
Yeah.
Who?
Right. This is a few months ago. And then Pelosi probably said something like, hey, probably need to
Knock it off, ass monkey.
No, it was probably more like, hey, you probably shouldn't have said that. So she walked it back. And then yesterday or the day before,
She walked back.
yeah. and doubled down.
Oh,
Yeah.
even better.
Right,
Oh.
because she knows that nothing's going to happen to her
Yeah.
because Pelosi agrees with her, I guess. I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with. It.
Yeah, Cedar says the woman that got the tenure at UNC was turned down for tenure, which spawned a massive backlash. So, yeah, not surprising that they gave her tenure
Massive backlash.
I posted
from the left.
Yeah.
posted something on Facebook about Twitter.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Speaking of, well, I'm kind of proud of this.
Yeah. And now we go to Ian.
That's getting
Tagged.
and apparently looks like if you tag this, you get a so-and-so, you may have been exposed to harmful extremist content recently. Violent groups may try to manipulate your anger and disappointment. You can take action now to protect yourself and others. Subheading: Get support from experts. Spot the signs, understand the dangers of extremism, and hear from people who escaped violent groups. Please escape this violent group. I beg you.
So
It's Facebook now. It pops up with, if good friend of ours, my little sister, linked in my post and popped up with you may have been exposed to harmful content. By God, I'm harmful content all over the place. And proud of it.
why can't I get these tags? Do I not have?
Because they look at your Facebook feed at the NSA agent crying in the corner every time you have to open it and go, it's not worth it.
I should be able to at least rate your violent extremist content thing. I mean, do they not have enough liberals to camp one on every account?
Your personal NSA agent has an alcohol problem and
That's
cries in the shower.
that's again, you need to admit that the first thing to curing is admitting you have the problem. It's not my problem that he drinks.
Yeah, it is.
Mom, he drinks because of you.
Your NSA agent drinks because of you.
I feel somehow left out.
I know, it's terrible.
I'm not part of the cool crowd because apparently I'm not extremist enough.
So you're getting all this too, is that it?
I'm going to see what happens here.
Okay. They're running a test. This is only a test.
That's interesting. Won't even let me post it.
Oh, noes. I'm a bad man.
Ah,
Thing is, I can
cross-post it immediately so that the Zucks can see it. I'll cross-post it after we get off of here. Jesse says, we want to weaponize you. Jerry goes, thank you for my anger.
let me share your post.
It won't.
Nope.
No, I've got like, comment, and send.
Yeah.
So they've turned
You're
off.
a friend of mine. You can share my posts.
Nope,
Nope.
I can't either.
They've turned off sharing on this post.
Facebook? Fuck you.
Oreo Mayo.
Fuck Zuck.
This is
Wait,
Facebook is the
hold
one.
on, time out.
Yeah,
Oreo Mayo.
there was a Photoshop joke about, and somebody took a jar of mayo and they Photoshopped Oreo ice cream and
Ah,
had it tagged as Oreo. You know, this is Oreo mayo. What, you know, your gods have deserted you. Facebook has tagged it with a "This is fake news." No shit.
Okay.
yeah. Cedar
Yesterday,
says it's a Photoshop of the Mayo Chup bottle.
somebody posted a pic yesterday of an 810 Warthog, Thunder, whatever it's supposed to be called, in red and white Coast Guard. And I mean,
Oh, I wish I was good at Facebook. Or
but
Photoshop.
Facebook is the one that's running ads on Fox News about updating the internet usage laws.
Yeah.
They're the ones that say,
Oh,
hey,
I wish I was better at Photoshop because I would take an A10 and I would Photoshop Facebook Autobots nuts.
oh god, yeah. The Coast Guard A10 was. Hello, is it sinking? Yep, it is.
Well, don't the Coast Guard fly through hurricanes?
Yes.
If anything, I'll get through a hurricane. It's a Warthog.
Actually, the best thing to go through a hurricane with is a P3 or a
Yeah, I was going to say you don't want to turbine.
C-130.
You don't want a turbine because you can suck enough water through a turbine. But if you've got a turboprop, you're not necessarily sucking water through.
It's a Warthog. It's gonna fly.
Well, having been the only person at this table that's actually flown into typhoons and hurricanes,
It says quite a bit about your IQ there, Jim.
I can tell you for a fact that a turboprop will also
Flame out.
choke out, because we flamed out 2 engines going into a typhoon off of the Philippines.
See, I've got share on my Facebook post.
You can't share it.
Like, comment, and send.
You 2-bit, 4-flushing, dirty, rotten, cocksucking, twinkle-toed pissants.
No, Nancy, the left does not have a sense of humor. You are correct in that statement.
Do I need to make it public? Will that fix it?
No, if you didn't change it, is
Make
it
it
not
public.
public?
No, it's not public. It's about to be.
Well, make
Yeah.
it public. See what that changes it.
Yeah.
Dear Zuck, fuck you.
Josh says Facebook is the one that keeps running ads for Chinese-made oil filter traps for guns. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, them and
Anybody that falls for that,
them and the ATF. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
let's be
Yeah,
honest.
Nancy, it was actually too much water in the air. We were,
yeah, you need to have some air in your air, not just water.
we were
All
penetrating
right, take a look now.
the last band before the eye to get a look at a, what's the best way to say
No, I
this?
can't find
A
it.
destroyer that had some significant problems and were plugging along with 2 of their boilers online in the middle of the typhoon because they had lost power and the typhoon swept over them and wiped out the topside. So they literally had no antennas left.
Hey, is anybody on Facebook? If you're a friend of mine on Facebook, God rest your soul.
Oh, now I can share.
Now you can share.
Yeah.
Disregard.
Yeah,
Apparently, I'm not in your close friends group.
yeah, you had it set to friends only,
Yeah,
which means you can't share it. If it's set to friends only, you can't share
that's
it.
never stopped anybody before.
Yeah, apparently with that post it did.
Bastards.
Yeah, you can share Jim Belmont's version. Yeah, because Jim made it public.
Well, mine's public now, so
Josh goes, "Hi, Obi," and Koala's probably cussing us because the dog barked and blew her ears out again.
Hey,
Ooh.
he's got one job and he's seen to it.
Cedar says,
130 countries signed plan for global minimum tax.
Global minimum tax.
I like that little
Actually, Nancy,
eye twitch you get.
Yeah.
the destroyer, when we got in there, they came up on a emergency radio, Prick 29, talked to us, and the CEO said, "We are going wherever the typhoon goes until either it dissipates or we run out of gas. One or the other."
I just have this picture of this Navy lieutenant running down to his Marine contingent, going, "Where's your comms guy?"
Yeah.
And grabbing the radio off his pack, and the comms guy's going, "But sir."
Yeah, I was about to say, the Prick 29 is completely different from the Prick E7.
Yeah. And they literally, and this was just north of the Philippines, they followed it. Basically, they stayed in the eye all the way up to just off Yokosuka, Japan.
That's some
That's
dancing.
where they finally broke out of it.
That's some
where they
dancing.
ran up against the shore.
Couldn't go any further.
Well, everybody talks about hurricanes out here. Hurricanes are not that strong compared to typhoons.
Well, yeah, typhoons have all the Pacific to build
Yeah.
up steam.
I mean, there is a reason if you've ever been in Westpac, most of the buildings over there are concrete. They're butt ugly. They're not painted, or if they were painted at one time, they look like they've been sandblasted because they
They
have.
were.
Wasn't
When you get winds of 185 miles an hour, is not being unusual in a typhoon.
wasn't the greatest loss of ships in World War II a U.S. fleet due
Yeah,
to
Halsey.
the typhoon?
Yeah,
Task
Halsey's-
Force 58.
It wasn't that. It wasn't. I mean, I don't mean sunk. I mean, this many were taken out of action and having to go back. Or
Oh, they lost some.
They
too.
lost them too. But
Yeah.
yeah, there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
and he got yanked and sent to death detail for that one,
Yep.
didn't he?
Yep. Yeah, that. But the sheer power of the typhoons is unbelievable. 60,
From a
70
planet that does that, and the proggies claim that we can change all of that with just a couple of combustion engines.
Yeah, Typhoon Cobra. Yeah, we actually had one chase us. That was the bane of my existence running testing out there was hurricane or typhoon season. Because we would get out there, do everything to plan it to make sure we were not going to get impacted by typhoons. And sure enough, one of those sumbitches would pop up. And one time we got caught under the X that marked the spot of a tropical cyclone for 2 days with a piece of gear on the bottom of the ocean so we couldn't leave.
Mhm.
The destroyer left and ran for home, and they lost the ship's bell off the bridge because they took green water over the bridge and broke the bell off, which was
Nice.
welded to the bridge. The other one was a typhoon that actually went by us. So we ran out to get done what we needed to do. And the damn typhoon turned around and came back. And then it chased us all the way to Japan, to Okinawa. And we had C7 and 8. For those of you that are not familiar with that, go look up the Beaufort scale. What was really interesting was we had a 20,000-pound piece of hardware strapped down on the back deck, chained down, strapped down, chained down, and roped down. We pulled back into the harbor at Naha. There were 4 chains left holding it down.
Okay, guys, we were discussing the Facebook's new extremism warning.
Yeah.
Our good buddy Larry Correa has a take on this.
Oh.
Please, you might want to put down anything you're drinking. Warning, you or someone you know may have been exposed to dangerous extremism. Hi, I am Mark Zuckerberg, a regular male human mammal being who is not at all a lizard wearing a skin suit, and I want to talk to you about dangerous extremism. Mark temporarily removes his quadruple COVID masks in order to swallow a live mouse. Ah, refreshing. Here at Facebook, we care about you, which is why we spy on you through your phones in order to advertise Wish.com pornographic devices TF stings. We also worry that horrible bad think ideas may get into your brains, which will require greater resources from our partners to eradicate in Google Gulags, trademark, or Amazon re-education centers. Signs to watch out for: dangerous extremism. You believe anything which was considered a traditional American value up until last Tuesday when it became bad. You believe it's possible a Democratic politician is capable of dishonesty. You made a joke which a reptoid lizard man may find confusing or frightening. If you or anyone you know meet any of these criteria, please report yourself to the Stasi immediately.
Yeah.
That man ought to write for a living.
Yeah, well, I think might do a fairly good job of it.
I'm not seeing that from Larry. I've got a different one from Larry.
14 minutes ago.
Oh, this one is 35 minutes ago. It says, meanwhile, Canada arresting priests and driving worshipers underground, and Joe Biden talking about the Second Amendment being obsolete because the government has nukes. Aren't extreme content in the least.
No, not at all.
Yeah, Jerry, the destroyers and typhoons or hurricanes is about like trailer parks and tornadoes. Yeah. Actually, the Navy works very hard, and there is a HURVAC, Typhoon Evac plan that is laid out very, very coherently for every base in every port that the Navy maintains a ship.
Why is a tornado like a Texas divorce?
Yeah.
Somebody's about to lose a trailer?
Yeah. And those things get activated quicker than probably anything else that the Navy does. If they think they're going to get a ship hit or a port hit with a typhoon or a hurricane, those ships are going to sea. And the ones that can't go to sea for whatever reason are going to be strapped down to a fare thee well. There was actually a case where a submarine did not get the notification in time. And it came up the Cooper River, Charleston, and they were trying to get it moored. And the CO decided it was unsafe to try to moor the submarine because of the potential for damaging the submarine or the tugboats and or losing people over the side.
Okay.
So he backed out into the river and bottomed the submarine.
That was dumb.
No, that was a smart move.
Really?
Sat on the bottom of the Cooper River right off the base.
Storm surge didn't roll them around the bottom?
No.
Yeah, I mean, but
Submarines are pretty large items.
Storm surge?
No.
Yeah, but you'd have to be side on to the storm surge to.
He
Otherwise-
laid it down in the current. The
Yeah.
only thing he
Okay.
had to do was, once the storm blew over, popped up, drove it over the pier.
Okay.
The only thing that they had to do was clean out the intakes, which are on the bottom of the boat.
Because silt, mud.
Which that actually brings up an interesting point. A lot of people don't know this. Submarines do not have, everybody knows what ballast tanks is.
Okay.
Ballast tanks are the tanks that hold air that allow submarines to go up and down in the water. Well, they have a valve on top.
Okay.
They're open to the sea on the bottom.
Really?
So one of the biggest fears operating in the Arctic is that a submarine is going to come up, catch an ice ridge or something else, and tilt it,
Ooh.
and potentially roll over.
And then you can't fill it, putting air in the ballast tank
Nope.
is all coming out of the big open holes in the bottom.
Did you know they have things called manure guns?
Yes, I want one.
Yeah.
I do too. Wonder how much they are. Want to go halvesies on one?
As long as we can drive up to Portland right after we get it.
I'm thinking Austin. Why drive all the way to Portland?
Yeah. Yeah, Nancy, the Cooper River is deep enough.
See, I want to grab one of those planes they use to water bomb big fires.
Yeah.
Pump a couple of septic tanks into it and do a low pass over a protest. I'm willing to bet that we can break that protest up in nothing flat.
Mhm.
Hey, here's your hepatitis and typhus.
TMC says manure gun technical.
As long as a 18-wheeler loaded with what the feedlot produces is considered technical, you got it.
Yes,
As I pull up sideways, I would unload.
yes, Sarah Singleton, a manure gun is just what it sounds like.
The thing is,
Yeah.
this manure isn't as chunky as what you consider, it's a lot more liquid,
Yes, yes.
which I think is a feature.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's a safety issue. If
Yeah.
you hit somebody with a horse,
A chunk of
a chunk of what came out of the horse, you're gonna hurt the poor little bastard.
so you
If it's a liquid spray, it's not gonna knock him over.
Oh,
No.
See, we're thinking of them.
yes, where this is about humane.
Safety.
Yes,
Safety is number one.
OSHA would totally buy off on this.
Irish Bob O'Rourke needs his front door fertilized.
I'm willing to bet I can roll Irish Bob down the street for
Yeah.
a good
Do you
half a
remember?
block.
Do you remember the guys that they bought a fire truck and rolled it up to a protest? And these were the protesters that bought the fire truck. It was an old decommissioned, and they were going to spray water at the police and the lawmakers at this Capitol.
I must have missed that one.
And what happened was they fired it up, and because this is a decommissioned fire truck, the lines and hoses were not
A little rotten.
yes, and they failed
Oh,
almost immediately.
Oh,
So now the protesters are getting pelted
Good.
with unaimed.
Yeah.
I want to tactically borrow one of those water bombers.
Yeah.
Because apparently the whole cargo bay opens up and
Yeah.
it drops the contents.
Well,
okay,
it depends on the type of water bomb.
Yeah, the DC-10s that they have out now generally have 4 tanks, and you can let them all go at once. You can do one at a time, or you can ripple fire them.
I like ripple fire. That ripple fired sewage will
So
be the name of my next ska
yeah,
band.
so you can set up a run, and when you hit ripple fire, you'll get a continuous stream for longer than if you just did it all at once.
Arcade says, kid ticked me off once. I mailed him a gift of 6 horse apples.
See, this is why
Horse
they
is the
won't.
best manure tea. Yeah.
Listen,
What?
these
RK says, horse is the best manure tea.
yes,
T's and TEA.
Yeah, for the gun.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. These are rich liberals. We should give them the best.
Oh,
Point.
Jerry goes, honey dipper gun truck.
That's human manure. That's icky.
Well, that's what they use in
Well, you don't.
Vietnam is manure from
You don't.
everything.
Yeah.
For Jim, for growing things, not right control.
Well, yeah.
I think we should really go for the best for these people that we're painting.
I have remember some comments from friends of mine that were over there with Third Herd about having to go face down the rice paddy and all of a sudden realizing what was
Yeah.
floating
Oh, yeah.
by.
If it's not okay, there are several million porta-johns in use by the U.S. military.
Mhm.
We are doing the taxpayers a favor
Mhm.
if we take their contents and dispose.
Yeah, but that's
Rather
no,
than
no.
having the army pay us to empty the porta johns, we're paying them for ammo,
Yes,
basically.
and,
I have no problem with this.
and you'll be able to spot a rioter. 1, he'll be throwing up, and 2, he'll be blue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anybody who's puking in blue, hit him with a riot act. I'm willing to bet the second time you do it, you won't have a third riot.
Yeah, Cedar is exactly right. Listen to Yanomi Park talking about the human manure in North Korea. She got asked a question about how they fertilize stuff in North Korea.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
from Africa. I
Yeah.
know how they fertilize stuff.
Yeah.
But you-
I've
okay.
watched the fertilization in.
Progress. Yes.
From the beginning of World War II, the White House had a victory garden in the backyard. It was in the backyard of the White House.
Yeah.
And then the Clintons got into the office, and they poured not manure, raw human feces as fertilizer onto this,
Quite.
and we no longer have a victory garden in the
Yeah, no
backyard.
kidding.
Yeah.
Because they didn't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, Julian says nearly, and this is true, nearly every dairy in the South has a sewage lagoon.
We're in Texas.
Yeah.
Feedlots. Feedlots have those. However,
Ogles.
we need to do the taxpayers a solid.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you. We need to find out who makes these guns and how much they are and what caliber they come
I
in.
just need to steal a firefighting plane.
I just want 15.
I've got a pilot. I'm looking at him.
Yeah. The problem is there's a disconnect between bombing somebody and then flying back to the airport and having to watch the TV for what you did versus being there with the gun and seeing the guy in his skinny
that
jeans.
guy right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in his skinny jeans going.
That particular ass monkey.
Yeah.
Going.
Yeah, Jesse, pigs are a lot worse, you're right, but they don't have the quantity that you get from
Oh
a
God,
feedlot.
pig
gee,
farm. Oh,
pig
my
farms.
God.
Raptor goes a solid laugh.
Thank you. Somebody got that.
Yeah.
My puns are a lot more subtle than Peter's. The west half of Bugskull, east half of the first Bugskull County I work for has a pig farm. And half the time when we're driving up to
Wayne.
secret location, we pass through that little draw that's downwind of the pig farm.
Yeah.
And oh my God. Woo-hoo-hoo. If you don't have your air conditioner recirculate and the windows rolled up, you will next time.
Yeah. Wayne says, manure spreader is the only piece of equipment that John Deere wouldn't stand behind. I'll see myself out. Yes.
I want those 10 seconds of my life back. I almost one semester I was looking for a place to live in college. I went to college in Iowa. I went to this place. It was outside of town, which made it cheaper, and it was really cheap. And I couldn't figure out why until I got there and realized they were less than half an acre away from a pig farm.
Oh God.
Prevailing winds made it downwind for the pig farm too.
That's why we're sheep.
And the first thing the guy said when I got there was, "Don't worry, get used to the smell after a while."
No, you don't.
I'm like, "No, I don't want to get used to the smell."
Sanford says, why argue? Use all of them in rotation. And on that note, folks, we've wasted another hour of your time.
Oh, we have.
We sure have.
We thank you for listening. We thank you for commenting.
Y'all have a happy Independence Day.
Yep. Go burn some burgers, shoot off some fireworks.
Set a government agent on fire. No way.
Don't shoot off fireworks. My dog has been in panic mode every night for the past 2 weeks.
Doggy PTSD.
Because the fireworks shacks opened up, so everybody started buying them. Well, you can't not.
Oh, and we're Jim's current location is half a block from the city's annual
fireworks.
And
Which will be Sunday night.
An evil spirit running off day.
I'm going. I figured out. I think I figured out the best place to make him a safety cave. So I'm gonna rig that up Saturday, so that he can escape into there.
And escape out again.
Yeah, because he'll still hear the thunder monster.
Yeah. Well, anyway, folks, we're going to have a get together over here. Sorry that everybody can't make it. We will hoist one for you. But please do enjoy the 4th. Be safe. Don't do anything stupid. Don't let the kids play with fireworks. Especially not like we used to do when we were kids.
No kidding, right?
Fireworks were illegal in Minnesota, so I
Yeah.
grew up with the charcoal snakes, and that was basically it.
Black cats. And remember, don't sweat the petty stuff.
Also,
don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Remember, if your firework vendor has an eye patch and missing 3 fingers, he's got the good ones.
Lefty